Hello everyone, welcome aboard. So again, we have brought you the new session of daily current affairs capsule, and this session has been brought to you by Himalaya IAS classes. If you want to join the fresh batch for IAS 2021 or KAS exam in English or Kannada medium, you can visit us at www.himalayaiasclasses.com, or you can reach out to us on this given number. Significance of the current affairs exam. In the prelims examination, you have straightforward questions from current affairs topic. In the mains, you have direct questions on the current affairs topic, plus the current affairs examples and case studies. They are used indirectly in the questions for supporting your argument. Also, essay, it is very useful where you have to write multiple dimensions of any topic. Plus, most of the interview questions are related to the contemporary issues. So in all the four stages of the examination, this is very significant. With this, let's get started with the first item of today, that is about a Supreme Court decision where it has said that no coercive measure can be taken against the employer if they are not willing to give the wages to their employees during the lockdown period. That was a guideline or advisory which was issued by Government of India, as per which they were supposed to pay them, but Supreme Court has said that it has to be negotiated between the workers and employers. So let us take a look at that. Syllabus wise, it is part of the Indian economy, and mains it is part of the general studies paper 3. So actually the wage issue is during the lockdown period when the factories were shut, then how to pay to the employees at that time. So Supreme Court has said there that state government must facilitate the negotiation between employers and workers. See, on the one hand, we have the interest of the worker, which needs to be protected. We have labor laws for that. At the same time, the business also needs to be protected. At this particular time, when you are seeing that government is coming up with a lot of initiatives trying to stimulate the business so that the economic growth can be revived in the economy, which has declined because of this lockdown impact. Okay, so in that sense, it is also at the same time very important to protect the interest of the business institutions as well. So that's why, without putting any coercive measure, Supreme Court has said that state government must facilitate a negotiation between the employee and employers where they can come up to some common ground. Next article important about today's current affairs is related to the GST Council, whose meeting has happened and who has scheduled another meeting in the month of July in order to talk about the state compensation issue. So syllabus wise, again part of the Indian economy, and Indian economy is the part of general studies paper 3. So first you should know about the GST Council. After the 101st Constitutional Amendment Act, all the indirect taxes were removed and they were replaced by the goods and services tax across the India. So the decision related to the GST or the taxes slabs, it is taken up by the GST Council, which consists of the Finance Minister, Union Finance Minister as a chairman, and members of all the states and union territories, the chief ministers as member of all the states and union territories. Any decision has to be taken up by the majority of 3/4 member of this council. Okay. Also, the GST meeting. So two things out of the GST meeting which has happened, the meeting of GST Council. One is that the state compensation issue, when GST Act was implemented, then it was decided that whatever loss of revenue is happening to the state government, that will be compensated by the central government. As of now, you know that the revenue of the GST it has declined because of this lockdown, okay, in the COVID pandemic situation. So the compensation of states still remains an issue. In the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan package, the government has increased the borrowing limit of the state if they comply with certain conditions. So that has been allowed, but still the compensation issue of the state's finance, it remains open. For that, a GST Council will meet in July. Another decision taken up by the GST Council was easing of the tax compliance. So the delay fees or for delayed payment, whatever fine were charged on the business entities, that has been reduced and waived off as part of the new decision taken up by the GST Council. Next important article today is about the new flood warning system which has been inaugurated in Maharashtra. So syllabus wise, part of the disaster management, which is part of the general studies paper 3. So the name of this new flood warning system is iFlows. Please remember that remember it. A lot of times they will just ask you that. So iFlows has been launched by Maharashtra state government. It is a state-of-art flood warning system. It is developed by Ministry of Earth Sciences. A lot of time they ask you in the second statement that it has been developed by whom. So it has been developed by Ministry of Earth Sciences. It will give you early warning for the flooding before it happens in case of heavy rainfall, cyclone. Recently we have seen Nisarga coming to the Maharashtra. Next important article today, it talks about the Lonar Lake. So one interesting phenomena has happened there. So water bodies are a very important topic for UPSC prelims. They have asked about Kodaikanal Lake, and in the past also, the water bodies in India have been asked in the UPSC prelims examination. Syllabus wise, it is part of the EVS, and mains wise, the EVS is the part of General Studies paper 3. What has happened actually, the color of the water in the Lonar Lake has turned pink. Okay, interesting phenomena. A lot of people are going. First thing to know from prelims point of view is where this lake is located. So this lake is located in Buldhana district of Maharashtra. Do remember that? See, Lonar is a wildlife sanctuary also. This lake is located in the Lonar Wildlife Sanctuary. One more important thing about the Lonar Lake, it was formed by the meteor hit. So they might ask you that as well. So please remember, Lonar Lake was created, a meteor which hit that part of India almost 50,000 years back. After that meteor impact, this lake was created. It has saline water, please do remember that, and it is declared as National Geo-Heritage Monument as well. Okay, this is also an important point about that. Some expected reason which might be the cause of this color change in the water, okay, is some people are they're expecting that mixing of algae with a halobacteria, it is a type of bacteria, it has resulted into formation of beta carotene. Okay, so beta carotene pigment, because of which the color is looking as pink as of now. Similar phenomena have been observed in other countries like Iran, where the cause of the changing color was increase in the salinity. Okay, other reasons which impact the color and the ecosystem of these lakes is eutrophication, which you have read about in the EVS. Eutrophication happens by increase in the nutrients in any water body, and it leads to the algal bloom, where blue-green algae, sometimes even red algae, it creates its population increases and the color of the water body changes. Okay, not sure of the exact reason now. These might be the reasons. Okay, but you should know all these topics. Next article today talks about the online education, that it has some challenges, and we should not divert completely towards online education. From our point of view, the scheme for online education which has been launched by Government of India, that is important. So prelims wise, it is a part of education, and education in the mains paper, it is part of General Studies paper 2. So UGC, okay, University Grant Commission, has asked the universities to adopt massive open online courses, MOCC. Okay, and this is offered on the Swayam platform. So MOCC and Swayam, you have to remember these two things. These are related to the online education platform. Rest of the article, it argues about that this might impact the learning outcomes, because the atmosphere where you read when you go to the university or colleges, that is different. It is like playing cricket on the ground and playing cricket in a video game. That's what the article argues. And the need of the hour is to create more higher educational institutions in India to develop the capability in various fields. Next and last item of today, it talks about the cashless technologies, use of cashless technology in the transportation system, paper which was released by the Ministry of Urban Development. So syllabus wise, you can put it in science and technology. You can also put it in the GS paper 1, the problems related to urbanization. Okay, so science and technology, if you consider it as part of GS paper 3, if you consider problems related to urbanization, it will be part of GS paper 1. Okay, so what does it say? It says that non-motorized transport should be encouraged. What is non-motorized transport? Which doesn't uses any engine, like bicycle, skateboard. Okay, so that is low cost, less human resources needed, that is environment friendly also, and it is quick to implement. The cashless technologies, this article argues, or the advisory of Ministry of Home Affairs, Urban Development says, is using the BHIM app, which is a payment app, so that you can have contactless cash transfer. Also the use of National Common Mobility Card. So Common Mobility Card is like, see, assume a bus is coming from Maharashtra and it is going to Bihar. So it has to cross a lot of states. So everywhere it has to pay fees and charges. So National Common Mobility Card was launched in 2019. It is nothing but a RuPay debit card which has some amount in it, and everywhere you can just swipe the same card and keep moving forward. See, why this non-motorized transport is needed to augment, because the social distancing norm in the buses or metro is going to reduce their capacity to accommodate people and to provide this transportation facility. So you need to complement the existing transportation system with some other means. So this some other means must be non-motorized so that it can be more environment friendly, less costly, and quickly it can be implemented. Okay, so that was it for today's current affairs session, guys. This is a list of do's and don'ts which you can follow in order to maximize your chances of selection in the prelims examination. Also, please do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel, and to press the bell icon so that you can get notified whenever we upload a video related to current affairs. So thanks a lot for watching, and please stay tuned for more updates. Thank you.